Besides for the shir always being really nishmas pitcher, also really nishmas my father's yard side is tonight. So
tonight,
so Dave Ben Benjamin.
So let's say I'm bringing this time. I just know from the fridge. I'm bringing this.
Like I'll find after.
Give him a minute to come back.
Yes. So the geschmack, so the whole the shaila about brushing your hair. So the first the shaila is saying it might not be the most exciting shaila if you want to brush your hair, but there's a lot of lumdas going on behind it. As you get into
hair, beard would be the same thing, right?
Yeah. You have to understand all the gdarim. What's a psikresha or davar sheni miskavin. So it starts out in.
And then do you have in your mind this okay? The morning to touch. I actually had a lot of vice yesterday, and I'm still feeling.
Really, the vice doesn't.
That's all they had. I usually don't. No, I mixed heavy. Maybe it's in the head.
Dave Ben Benjamin.
Shabbos 11 I need to matter myself. Zusammen
and also the shaila.
The Aliyah, when it comes down here, is the Aliyah.
Huh? But that you have to explain.
There's a famous tshuva from the Rivash. The Rivash is one of their shainim. He was a Talmud of the Ran. So there's famous tshuva. Someone was writing that certain Rav wanted to be matir, brushing or combing your hair on Shabbos. So he tried very hard. He came up with a lot of chedushim, a lot of svaras. But the Rivash has a long tshuva. He writes very sharply. First page of the tshuva, he's not even discussing halach. He says, "How dare you come up and break down the walls which everyone before you has made? How dare you try to do a whole full page just talking? How dare you?" He tried the person tried being a right. You see, Rabbeinu Tam, he was matter some things that people before him was matter. So he tells you, "Who are you to compare yourself to Rabbeinu Tam?" He says, "All the chacham nowadays aren't even like a klippus hashum, like the peel of a garlic, in comparison to the smallest talmidim of Rabbeinu Tam." And you want to go? It's an interesting tshuva. I don't remember it says his name. I never heard him. I don't know who he is. Anyway, so what's the discussion about brushing your hair? So it starts. There's a clear Mishnah that says that talking about a nazir, that a nazir is not allowed to brush his hair. A nazir is not allowed to cut his hair, pull out his hair. So it says he's also not allowed to brush it. So why not? So let's see the first Maramakim. There's the Mishnah of Nazir. It says Nazir chayfef and mefaspis. He could scratch, rub his head, or mefaspis. I think it was a type of sand or dirt. He could rub in his hair to clean it. Avalei seidik. He cannot brush his hair or comb his hair.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. He's not allowed to comb his hair. I think brushing would have the same dinim.
It depends on
the type of brush. Right. So
we'll
a regular, So see in the Gemara, a regular hard brush, So the Gemara says, well, so why not? So it says, what's the reason you're allowed to scratch your hair and clean it? Mani, we say because it's not a psikresha that you're going to pull out here. Mani, Rabbi Shimon, davar shem miskavin mutter. Davar shem miskavin, you don't have a mind to pull out your hair. You're just trying to itch it, or you're trying to clean it.
But it's miskavin.
Any miskav is only mutter when it's not a psikresha. If it's a psikresha, Rabbi Shimon is going to be meidah. If it's not for sure, if it's not a psikresha, if you're not for sure going to do this, or if hair's not for sure going to come out, and you're not miskavin for it, so Rabbi Shimon says it's mutter. So then the Gemara asks, but then the Gemara says you shouldn't comb your hair. But why not? Asan la Rabbanah. It goes like Rabbanah, like Rabbi Yehuda, that says davar sheni miskavin is also. What's going on? So Reish Rabbi Shimon Sefer Rabbanon.
Why is that the logic here? Why can't you say it is
one is
Shimon?
The Gemara one is not
Remember, the Gemara sometimes uses that answer.
But here looks like there are.
So what does the Gemara answer? Right. So this is. So the Gemara goes. So what's the Gemara answer? The Gemara answers. The Gemara is assuming that they're both not a psikresha. One case, how come both cases? One case also. One case is mutter. So the Gemara answers, Amarava Kula Rabbi Shimon. Taka the whole mission is Rabbi Shimon. But now you said he says different. Kol Hasedik. Anyone who comes there here, Lahaser Nimin Mildudolis Miskavin. Anyone who's coming there here, obviously the only reason they're coming there here is because they want to break off the loose hairs which are in there.
Maybe they want to sit.
I asked my wife, she didn't
never
agree.
brushed his hair. I'm sure you want to make it straight too and nice and neat, but
So he says that.
Not for Nazir though. Nazir's not trying to make his hair straight. It's not his priority.
Oh, so one second. We're gonna get into that. So it says.
it's a mesh, but not bad.
We already have your
Wait a minute, how much hair do you think?
So we're gonna get into it. We're coming to that Svara
Every
next.
day's
So.
hair, that's all. So you take haircuts every other day or whatever.
So we're going to come to this in a second. So he writes, so here is the mucker that you see a Nazir is not allowed to cut his comb his hair because it's a not because of psication, because everyone back then, the whole reason for coming here was in order to pull out the hair. So that's why you're not allowed to do it. So on Shabbos, for on Shabbos, you have the same problem. Someone who's coming here with the intention to pull out the hairs, it's a problem with glazes. You're not allowed to pull. Not supposed to pull out hairs from the skin where it's attached to.
Well, it's psication.
Why do you have to go to the
psication?
Because that's the only
can't you
Mishnah
go
we
to
have.
Shabbos?
We don't have a Mishnah about Shabbos. We have a Mishnah about a Nazir. No, but how do we know it's a psikration? How do we know that it's not a psikration? Where do we know? The makar is so here we didn't say it's a psikration. We said that anyone who comes there here, their intention is to pull out hairs.
Allowed to pull your hair.
Allowed to pull your hair.
One or two or three.
Oh, that's a shear. That's the guy with the shear. How many?
That's dafka pulling out your hair.
But the shaila, who's? But we're talking about combing. Is combing going to pull out your hair?
That's dafka pulling
Is
out
combing
your
for
hair.
sure?
How do you know that by combing must affects your life?
No, but
Start combing and
the Gemara. No, but the Gemara here doesn't say subsecration. The Gemara says that your intention is to pull out here. It doesn't say that it's subsecration, even though it's not a psikration. Even though it's not a psikration, but since your intention, the whole reason you comb your hair, at least back then, was in order to pull out the loose hairs.
Really?
That's how you're learning that's not a psication.
No. That's how the Gemara says that.
That is for sure psication the way learning it.
It seems if it's a psikration, then who cares about your kavanah? From the fact that the Gemara is saying the only reason it's also because your kavanah is to pull out hairs, it sounds like it's not a psikration.
How could it not be a psication if your kavan is to pull out your hair? You're doing it and you're gonna miss.
Not always pulls out hairs. Not every time you brush your hair.
If a person's stupid, he's doing it to pull out his hair, and he knows the time before it didn't work according to what you want to say. So why is he doing it? He's not stupid. He knows each time it works.
Soon we'll see the Rashain and Rashi and say that it's not a psikration. But from this Gemara, the Gemara is not going with the Hanoch that it's a psikration. So the chayt over here is there's a problem of brushing your hair because normally people brush the hair, their intention is to break off the loose hairs.
Different kind of hair then.
So the tshuva, in the tshuva the Rivash,
get the loose ones out because it sticks up. It doesn't look good. Soft hair falls out.
We're talking about shapelech, we're talking about hair.
No, there's really
No, right now we're talking about hair. We're not talking about shape.
their hair was like steel wool, so they want to get out the loose ones.
So the tshuva from the Rivash, the Shayla over there wanted to argue. He wanted to say that this is dafka by a Nazir, like we said before. A Nazir, his hair goes really long. He only cuts it he doesn't cut it too often. So by him, when he's brushing his hair, he wants to break out. He wants to break out.
The shear of a Nazir is lamid, but you're saying usually they would do it for longer, maybe.
So 1 second. That's the Rivash answers back. 1 second. So he wants to say maybe dafka by a Nazir. Maybe dafka by a Nazir, he has to let his hair grow long. So his intention, he wants to break out some of the hair, so to lighten his hair, make it less hair. But by a regular lady, says who? So first of all, that's what he wanted to argue. So the Rivash says, first of all, the Milash in the Mishnah is kol haseidik. Everyone who brushes their hair, it's not machal, it's not shad. There's no chiluk between a Nazir and anyone else. The Milash in the Mishnah is kol haseidik. Everyone, their intention is to break out loose hairs.
It's a big statement.
And he says it. And if you want to make a chiluk between Ish and a Nazir, you could say farkeret, right? Like over here, the Nazir in 30 days he's going to cut his hair. Anyways, it's going to be a mess until the end of 30 days. It's not like brushing the hair is going to help anything. So and a lady, she takes care of her hair more. She takes care of her hair more. Because you can argue there's more of a svara. Yes, you could use a svara to say that afka that by a lady she has more of an intention to break out the loose hairs to make it look nice. So for this is his first one point he argues. Second of all, he says you have a clear Rashi and Shabbos one. The Gemara brings down the Mishnah that it's also to be circular here. Rashi gives a different reason. Rashi says why in the second Maramaki why Devade Meisher. You're for sure going. It's a psik ratio. You're for sure going to take out hairs, and therefore, even if you're not miskaven to pull out the hairs, it's still going to be also. So he brings down a lot of Rishonim also go to the Halcha Rashi that it's a psik ratio, and therefore you're not allowed to brush your hair. So this is Ayla Chayda. So what are you going to do? Why is Rashi being very different than the Gemara? From the Gemara, it's only the problem is not a psik ratio. The problem is that you're miskaven.
That's what we're learning.
The Gemara says clear, right? Kol haseirik lahashin nimim muldados miskaven.
And therefore it's a psik ratio.
Not therefore, late according to Rashi.
According to therefore it's a psik ratio.
Therefore it's a psik. I hear. And the Magen Avram gives a inference differently. He says that the Magen Avram wants to say that Mishnah is talking about even if you're doing it with a soft brush. Even if someone's doing it with a soft brush, it's not a psik ratio. Since b'derech klal the kavanah is to take out the hair, that's why it's going to be also even if it's not a psik ratio. I don't know. I'm not sure that maybe that was Messias back then. I'm not sure.
What's the haftanim in the
They weren't
They're
attached like that.
They're loose. They're attached, but
that wasn't what it was all about.
So what's the Rashi saying?
No, they didn't know what
this is taken out. This is taken out.
They didn't know what neat meant.
one is for
They
sure,
called
one is not for
cautious
sure.
to get rid of the wild loose hairs. Not like us that we're trying to make it extra neat.
I don't know.
Have to see how the styles worked back then. So this is so now. So the Vash tells him that it's also because it's a psik ratio. So now the shayl over there wants to be matter brushing your combing your hair. So he gets more creative. He says if you want to get very itty gritty, is it really a psik ratio that you're for sure going to take out hair? When you brush your hair, does all your hair fall out? Not all your hair fall. A few hairs fall out, right? No, you're left with a few hairs. So each hair, if you look at each hair by itself, this is a psik ratio that this hair is going to get pulled out.
But I'm doing a lot of hairs at once. When I go like this,
right? But if you want to narrow it down, if you look at each hair by itself, is what I don't remember the name of the person. The shayl, the person who was arguing with the Rivash, he wants to argue that you're allowed to brush your hair. If you want to get itty gritty, if you want to narrow it down, you can look at each hair individually.
I can say that be any psik ratio, maybe.
Oh, so
it's not be by it's not this piece of earth, it's this grass.
Very good, very good. So he's going to answer that. So this is what the shayl wants to argue. So look in the fourth Maramachim. He says, he says this shayl wants to he gives explanation to shit to that it's mutter. Since we see someone who brushes the hair, they don't pull out all the hair on their head. Actually, until that there's not even one hair left. It's the if so then we verified the last psik ratio who is not a psik ratio. Who together ha'efsher. Each hair by itself, it's only a esher. Each hair individually, maybe. How do you know if it's for sure going to come out? If you don't look at it, that there is no psik ratio. Every hair, I could argue that who says this hair is going to come out, and if so, it's darshin miskaven, and it's not a psik ratio. So this is he's getting creative. The shayla over here. So he only wants to say it's not a psik ratio, and darshin miskaven is going to be mutter. So he answers back. So similar to what you're saying before. You say in the second paragraph, he writes, Raya Lister, I'll bring your Raya to be Asa from Kibbutz Abayish Asfer. And the Gemara says you're not allowed to sweep your house. Back then they had regular dirt floors and there were a lot of holes in the floors. The reason you're not allowed to sweep is because you're going to end up filling in the holes with the dirt while you're sleeping. You're going to be mashve gumis. So he says same thing. If so, that shall be mutter because you're not going to be mashve every guma. Each guma, maybe this guma is going to be filled in, maybe this guma is not going to be filled in. Elamai, you have to say, since for sure gumas are going to be filled in, doesn't matter which one, it's a psik ratio. So he writes, Kivan to lay efshel abais b'lei gumis, lay sagid to lay mashvi gumis. Right? The brother were also sweeping a house. Since every bais has holes, it's impossible you're not going to fill in holes. And if so, for sure someone who's sweeping his house, he's not going to fill in every single hole in the floor until there's nothing left. There are going to be a few holes that didn't get filled in. And Afal Pekin still have a psikaresha, Kivin Shi Efsher Bli Hashvayas Echan Mehem. And still it's also because for sure one of them is going to get filled in.
Who brought the Raya lister? Who knocked off the
This is the Rivash. The whole situation. Yeah. He quotes the Lashon. First he's quoting the Svar of the person, and then he knocks him off. And he also brings one of the Svars he brings a Yisad also by greater sassel. It's a heavy bench which is for sure going to make a hole in the ground. You're not allowed to drag it. You don't know which part of the ground is going to make a hole in. He brings that Svar also. So you see that Psik Reisha, even though you don't know which hair is going to get pulled out, or you don't know which part, as long as for sure Isra is going to be done, it's a Psik Reisha. And even though your kavanah is not to do it, it's going to be Asr. And so the guy goes. So the shayl there gets more creative. He tries to argue even more. He says that if you want to get very itty gritty, it's for sure going to happen once in a while that someone will comb his hair and not a single hair would fall out. You tell me it's never going to happen once in a year that someone's going to comb his hair and the hair isn't going to fall out. So you can say maybe this time. Why is it a secret? So maybe this time when he's combing his hair, the hair isn't going to fall out.
A little better than his last one, I'd say.
So you said maybe once in a while it's not going to happen. So
you have to check like the Pinta said. They'll do a test and see.
Oh, so what is right?
10 people and see if it's a psik or not.
So the question is, how common does it need to be considered a psik
right? Is it 100% or 99 or
how common does it need to be?
That's a good test. What does psik mean?
So this is a shayla boiling down to.
Huh? That's why we're here.
So when we're talking about a psik reisha, that is that you're for sure going to do Isra. How common is it? Is it 99%, 95%? So look in the Lush in the fifth Maramakim, he writes, the other reason that this person he wanted to be makel is the kivan she'esher mikri she'adam echad yisrik pam achas hayevel. Once in a yevel, someone will come there here, v'lo yaser, and he won't pull out here. Im kein lo have a psik reisha. Maybe this is going to be that once in a yevel. Maybe this is going to be that once in 50 years. So he says,
he's answering him back.
Yes, the next part he answers back. Says, we go after the things. We go after things the way they usually are. We're not going after what happened. Yeah, we're not going after what Yitzim in a cloud. You're telling me once in the evil, you have Yitzim case for us, where there wasn't, or it didn't happen. It's still psik reisha. Every time you brush your hair, hairs get pulled out.
Now you know why it doesn't say anything. It's normal. No, it's if it's most probably going to happen, it happens. It's a psik reisha.
So, but on the other hand,
David, the fact that the Rivash is answering him is that there was some tickle basic.
Why? We said it made sense that kasha wasn't complete.
And now that you see some
there's a heavy thing on the grass, that's for sure. It won't even be once in a yavel nut. Take a 300-pound thing and schlep it on grass, it won't even be once in a yavel. This one could maybe be once in a yavel that it won't happen.
So the MS...
According to that, you should not be able to walk on grass because you're probably going to reap the grass. But on that you're saying walking is not. But on that you're saying double sheina miskaven and that's okay.
Because I guess it's more also.
And the Rivash doesn't disagree.
That's not psik.
Why not?
Schlepping furniture is a psik.
I'm talking about calming versus walking on the grass. You probably
walking's a lot less than.
You're pulling grass out. Why? Go check how many times.
Better don't check.
So we'll look that it's actually.
Yeah,
it's not a psik reisha. It's not for sure going to happen. So the question is, how much of a chance do you need to have that it's not going to happen? 1% chance, 5% chance, 10%.
Wait, he's saying
so there's a tshuva from the Ritva. The Ritva actually writes that even though it's a very small chance and it's not going to happen, the Ritva actually writes that it is considered davar sheni miskaven. Even though chances are the majority of the Riv,
like this guy who's asking on the
I don't think he's going to take it as far, but you see a little bit of this Svara. Look in the 6th Maramakim, he writes that it's in Yuma, Daf Lamed Daled. He writes, She'ein kol hamatchis mitztarfis. The Gemara over there is talking about by the Kohen Gadol. How would they heat up the mikvah? They would heat up pieces of metal and they would throw it into the water. But the Gemara asks L'chedas Melach of Tziruf. How when you make metal things, the metal workers, in order to harden it, they throw it into the water. And
but it's already already was mitzvah already. Yeah. How many more times can you mitzvah for old case?
So I don't know. Let's say it wasn't a kli. It was bars of metal.
Yeah. How many times can you mitzvah for?
I don't know. Maybe it was the first time.
So don't use the first time. Sure.
So if the Gemara doesn't say you need to be careful about it. So the Rishonim are discussing why is there no psik reishon. So look at the Rizva writes she'in kol hamatchis mitzdarfis beknisa l'mayim. So not all metal, different types of metal. Some metal doesn't. It doesn't happen like that. The chol de efsher b'shum tzad b'lei melacha leichashib psik reisha k'de brina bekam duchli. Says as long as there's a chance, any possibility that it won't be a psik reisha. It's that it won't happen. So I don't think he's going to take it as far as the shayl that even achad v'yevel that you have thousands of people coming to her every day, and once in the yevel, one person out of a few 100,000 is not going to do it. We're not going to take it. We're not going to take it that far.
It would be nice if they explain what it is. Is it 1 out of 10? Is it 1 out of 100? There's
this interesting dogma in Beya and talks about trapping. The Gemara Beya talks about trapping bees. Could you cover a beehive with a blanket or something, trap them? So it says it's even with a blanket or with something to trap the bees. You want to, for whatever reason, you want to spread something on top of this beehive. So probably you're not miskaven to trap them. So you're not miskaven. You want to set it out to dry. I'm not sure what your intention is. So it goes. It says it's multi-later abishim. It's right. There's the chaydas of psik reishon. You're for sure going to trap them. It says no. You can have that. There's one hole, even though the bees can't see it, but it's technically possible that a bee could find it and find the hole and they'll go out of it. Therefore, it's not a psik reishon. If there's a small hole, even though it's going to be hard for bees to find it, and there's a good chance that the bees won't find it.
99% or more.
I guess a good example would be those bee traps, right? They have like the jars with the bees go inside and they go in through the hole.
They can't get out.
So technically, usually they don't get out, but technically there's a hole over there, right?
No, they can't get out. They can't fly. Whatever. It has to do with the way they fly.
It has to do with the way they fly.
In general,
I'm saying technically it's not possible that they could land and they could crawl, they could find the hole and crawl out.
So it has a repelling rope and
listen, if it has a smartphone, it gives it.
Each one could stand on top of the other one. You know what I'm saying?
So it can be, even though there's a rave chance that halacha is going to be done, even though the chance that's not going to happen is a minority, but it's not once in the evil, and it's already considered davar sheini miskaven. But fine. So as of now, so the Rivash knocks off this svara. You can't see it's a davar sheini miskaven.
Wait, but the Ritva is learning that what do you call it? You will be allowed.
But not. I don't think.
By something that's not psikration. He'll call the combing not psikration.
The combing once in the yevel, I don't think achas v'yevel I don't think he's gonna take it that far. Achas v'yevel. Once in you have a few thousand people coming there here every single day for 50 years.
And it's possible. No, we're not going with that starter. Now we're going with the starter that it could be somebody will comb their hair and nothing will come out. Therefore, it's not a psikration.
Right, but it's such a far chance. It has to be
almost impossible.
Let's say a 20% chance, a 30% chance. It has to be a decent chance.
Yeah.
So this is strike 3, I think. He's trying to use to be matir. So he gives a fourth try. So he gives a fourth try to try to be matir brushing your hair. There's a famous shitta of the Aruch. The Aruch says that even though Rabbi Shimon is meideh when it's a psik reisha, even though you're not miskaven, you're not allowed to do it. Even though you're not intending to do the malacha, if it's for sure going to happen, you're not allowed to do it. But the Aruch says that when is that? That's only when you're happy about what's happening. If you're happy, if it's nichalei, it's psik reisha de nichalei. If you're happy about what's happening, about this thing happening, then it's going to be asur. Like I don't know, say you're dragging something in your heavy bench in your field, and it's going to make a trench, and you're happy it's going to make the trench because you want to plant there, you want to do something up there, even though you didn't intend. Lei nichalei. So this is the argument. The Aruch has a famous shitta. He says that when do we say that Rabbi? When does Rabbi Shimon say that psik reisha is also in your high? It's not when you're happy about it. But if you didn't care about it, it didn't make a difference to you. You couldn't care if it happened. You couldn't care if the bench made a hole in the ground. So it's mutter. There's no problem. Torah wasn't ace of that.
Because it's einem miskaven.
It's einem miskaven and it's lei nichalei. And it's lei nichalei.
Right, both together. Gotcha.
First of all, you're not intending for it to happen, and also you couldn't care. You couldn't care less.
No, it is nichalei. I say.
Oh, so 1 second. So before then. So what does he?
When you go bald.
Of his side middle dollars. No, the side middle
Wait.
dollars. That's why he's combing his hair.
No, he wants.
Wait. So 1 second.
Wait,
So let's see.
Not happy. So what? He's losing his hair.
So what does
But he
the
wants to
person?
pull it
What
out.
does the shayl try to
Too late.
argue? He tries to argue. This person is combing his hair because he doesn't care about if the hair gets pulled out, and maybe not that he's not happy that the hair is getting pulled out. It's a psik reisha delay nichalei. Even though it's a psik reisha, he's not miskavin and it's lay nichalei, he doesn't care about it. So according to the aruch, according to the shit of the aruch, it should be mutter.
Like the Rivash says.
Not like the rabbi.
Not like the Rivash.
The Shayl was saying it should be mutter.
The shayla is saying that it should be mutter since it's lay nichalei. So this is a famous shitta of the aruch. So before we go into what's the makkah the shit of the aruch, so the Rivash says he can't be mekel according to this svara also. This is strike 4. So it's first of all because most of the shaylim disagree with the aruch. It's the lei nichalei. They don't agree. They say even if it's lei nichalei, it's still going to be aser. It's brought down in Shulchan Aruch. You have the Alter Rebbe says you have 2 other svaras lahakil. You can add this as a third svara to be mekel. If you have 2 other svaras to be mekel, you can add the aruch as a third svara. Yes, first he says it's not ungenommen lahalacha. Most of the shaynim will argue with the aruch. And second of all, he says people who are coming their hair. The Gemara says the reason why you comb your hair is because your intention is to pull out the loose hairs. Right? Kol ozlashin the Gemara. Kol haserik hasin imnim modalis miskavim. That is your kavana. It's nichalei. You can't tell me it's not. You can't tell me it's not nichalei.
What it is, and then they build on.
You have to understand where they're coming from the olden days. In the olden days, they didn't brush their hair to make it neat and pretty. They weren't as
they didn't take showers that often.
They
didn't.
their
hair. They probably didn't take showers that often. They needed to.
By then, when they brushed their hair, it was because hairs were flying and they wanted to rip it out, get rid of it.
Yeah, I guess it'd be very long right here.
Yeah.
So where's the makar the shitta of the aruch? So it's from it. So where does the lei nichalei come from? So it's a Gemara in Sukkah, Daf Lamed Gimel. Look in the 7th Maramakim. The Gemara is talking about ravis. If the ravis have a lot of berries hanging from it, too many berries, it's possible. It's possible to use them. The hadassim. So the shayla is, are you allowed to? So are you not? But the din is you're not allowed to pull it off on Yom Tov, right? So you're not allowed to pull off the berries on Yom Tov. So shayla is, what if you're not miskavin? You're pulling off the berries because you want to eat them. You're not miskavin because now you don't want to fix it. You're not pulling it off because you want to fix the hadassim. Is it mutter? Is it mutter? So the Gemara says, Tan Rabbanon, Mematim b'yemtiv. You're not allowed to be memait the berries from hadassim. And Shum Rabbi Eliezer be Rabbi Shimon Amru mematin. Shimon ben Rabbi Shimon says you're allowed to take off the berries. Ask the Gemara of a hakam misakin mana b'yemtiv. You're being misakin a kli. You're being misakin a hadassim. Before the hadassim was possible, now it's kosher. So the Gemara answers, so Amar Rav Ashti k'gein shalatan la'achilo. Your kavana was only la'achilo. And Rabbi Eliezer by Rabbi Shimon savar la'kavua. He was like his father Rabbi Shimon. That says that davar shein miskavin is mutter.
Why is he taking it off now? He decided to use it for
He wants to eat it. He wants to eat the berries. He's not using it for the mitzvah.
So why is it ain't miskavin?
The berries on the hadassim. The berries growing on the hadassim.
Please, it's not edible. What kind of tennis is
She wanted to feed it to his animal, maybe.
He didn't like
He wanted to feed He wanted to feed it to his pet.
He's allowed to do it, or if I'm allowed to use
You can ask Shiloh, so he can't argue.
What's the question? Is he allowed to do it, or is he allowed to, or am I allowed to use the hadis later in the mitzvah?
The Shiloh is he allowed to do it? Is he allowed to pull it off?
But we're finding an excuse that he has in mind.
It's already cut off from the ground. It's already cut off from the ground.
What is that?
Oh, so right now the hadas is possible, right? Because it has too many berries on it. So once you take out the berries, it becomes a kosher for a hadas for the mitzvah.
So one second.
So
Normal is he allowed to eat the berries?
So Shiloh being misakin kli.
Normal is he allowed to eat the berries?
Are you allowed to eat berries? Yeah, you're allowed to pull it off.
Berries, yes. Here he wants to eat the berries, yes.
Here he wants to eat the berries, yeah.
So you're
traveling is
the Gemara asks the Shaila, how can you pull off the berries?
You can use it.
So the Gemara asks, how is he allowed to pull off the berries? The Chayz being misakin mana. We say no. His kavana isn't to fix that. His kavana is not to make it a kosher. The kavana is only to eat it, and he holds like his father, Rabbi Shimon. Davar shein miskavim mutter. Oh, but davar shein miskavim is only by when it's not a psikration, right? So the Gemara goes on right there. Davar shein miskavim mutter.
And here he's showing it's
I have a psikration. So the Gemara asks, Abaye and Rava say both say that Rabbi Shimon is made if it's a psik reisha that it's also you're not allowed to do it. So when I answers Hachavai Skiman the Islay Heshainach, what are we dealing with where he has a different Heshainach?
So it's eine miskaven? A double eine?
No, he doesn't need this. He doesn't need this hadas for the mitzvah. For the mitzvah, he has a different hadas. This hadas, his
So what is it? It's a psik reisha, the eine miskaven.
So comes the aruch.
The eine miskaven.
So it comes the aruch and says, "What's the reason it's mutter?" It's psik reisha. He says, "No, it's lei nichalei." What's the reason it's mutter? He says he couldn't care that he made this a kosher hadas. He has a different hadas. He doesn't need this hadas, and that's why since it's lei nichalei, even though it's a psik reisha, but it's lei nichalei, he didn't intend for it, and he doesn't care about it. That's why he's going to be mutter even lechatzula. He's going to be mutter.
But then the question is, can a guy do it?
Before then, we have more questions before that. And so this is what he wants to argue. But if you see,
is it really?
Don't go into
the refrigerator.
if you're all the guys mutter,
Yeah.
There's also about Rashi. How are the other Rishonim going to enter? So look at Rashi. Rashi teaches the Gemara different. Rashi teaches that what's the head of the fact that it has a different hadas? It says certain melachos. If you build a house, building a house is a melacha whether you're miskaven for it or not. You did a chashav thing. You were misakin something, but picking off the berries, be'etzem, did you really make a kli? Did you really picking something off a branch? Is that a kli? Over here, it's all over here.
What if he wants to? Could he?
Over here,
if he wants to, could he?
Over here, what makes it a melacha? The certain things it only has a chashivas of melacha if your kavan was to make it a melacha. Right? If you picked off picked off a
bottom line,
a twig, if you picked off a splinter from a board, is that misakin mana? Is that an isser that you fixed something? You made a kli? No, but if your intention was to use that as a toothpick, then you just made it into a kli. Because you're going to be chayiv.
You're allowed to pick up a toothpick.
If your kavan is to make a toothpick.
Yeah, I believe you're allowed.
Okay, I thought it was also.
That's because it's
but over
not
here,
a toothpick. That's
here
because
says,
it's not a toothpick. Here it is a mitzvah.
Also, over here says Rashi's master. What's the reason it's mutter? Because since you don't need it, be'etzem you didn't do anything. Only when you need it, it becomes a tikkun kli. If you don't need it, it's just you just pull berries off a branch.
Am I allowed to make a tikkun kli if I'm not using it? Am I allowed to make a tikkun kli if I'm not using it?
Certain things are be'etzem a kli. If you made a cup. If you made a cup like this, and even though it wasn't miskaven, but it's a psik reisha, even though it's a psik reisha, but you did a malach.
It's a money.
Let's read Rashi's lashon. It might be more understood in Rashi's lashon. Eighth Maramaki writes, Rashi said, "Isha yeshana chriti, v'leit tzarich lahai." He didn't need this hadas for the milsa. Hilkoch ein kan tikkun kli, v'leit tzrich leilach shura. He didn't need to be machshir this hadas. V'leit dami hashda lepsik reisha.
Doesn't matter.
It's a byproduct. It's a byproduct.
So wait a second.
V'leit dami hash.
I'm not concerned about the byproduct.
Let's finish Rashi.
One second.
Let me ask you a question. Let's finish Rashi. Let's finish Rashi.
In the mikveh, I don't need it.
That's what I just asked him. Can I make it? That's exactly what I
In the mikveh, I don't need it.
V'loi dami hashla psik reisha. The hasa, it's not similar to psik reisha. The hasa ikon etilas neshama. What's the case of a psik reisha? You're killing an animal. So killing an animal, cutting off the head, that is a melacha. So whether you intended it for it or not, you did it isser. You did it etilas neshama. Mima nafshach. V'hacha leika tikkun kli.
So maybe I should never learn. I'll never learn psik reisha because by psik reisha was netilas neshama. You want to start making that netilas neshama by psik reisha, so now I'll never learn psik reisha by anything else. Psik reisha will yamus by shchita, and that's it. Don't learn it in anything else. The whole point is that it's not about the netilas neshama. It's about the tikkun keli.
Let's say
That's the point here. Here he liked tzricha. It's not.
Let's say bring in. Let's say
I didn't do it until neshama.
He's saying there's certain types of malachas. There's certain types of malachas.
It's not about byproducts. It's end result. What happens when I do this?
Let me get some more. Let me be myself some more hasbara. There are certain malachis that your kavana decides whether it's a malacha or not. It gives it the chashivas. Like let's say the tomatoes on the vine. Yeah, in the store they buy the tomatoes on the vine. Is there pulling the tomatoes off? No. But let's say you needed this vine. You needed to take this vine in order to use it to fix something. You needed to use it to as a toothpick, whatever you're going to use it for. So your chashiva, since now your kavana made it a kli. Your kavana made it a kli, and you were misakin it.
Is the esrog a mitzvah? Is the esrog that's sitting on the table just as important as the esrog I chose? It's ready for a mitzvah.
But you're not doing anything
to make
to it.
this esrog into a mitzvah for it to be a mitzvah.
But
Doesn't matter if I need it or not.
It's already
I
right
made it
for
into
a
keli before this esrog wasn't an esrog. Not really.
Why not? You say not really.
Because
say yes.
buy a toothpick when it's not a toothpick. I could. What is this? What is this? I don't know what this is. If I want it to be a toothpick, it's a toothpick. If I don't know what it is, it's not. But when I make a hadis, and now it's a hadis, everybody knows that this is Ra'il mitzvah.
But it's a branch.
It's different than.
But no one needs
it.
But it's not a hadashal mitzvah. If you, it only becomes a
mitzvah.
But you only. But it's not a hadashal mitzvah. If your kavanah was to use it for a mitzvah.
It's a simple melech mashavas. We're talking about psikrei shivla yamas. You schlep furniture in the yard. Now you're hacking about melech mashavas.
Yeah, it's very posh.
Very posh, melech mashavas.
No, I agree.
If your kavanah was to use it for a mitzvah.
The whole psikdesha is we're not talking about melech mashavas. The whole point of psikdesha is not to involve
the original thing of
it's what's the end result that happens.
I don't care the chicken's gonna die. The original thing of psikdesha is I don't care the chicken's gonna die. I just want the head.
You brought me this toothpick, we made it from the toothpick. About machshava.
But a hadas only becomes a hadash mitzvah when that was your kavanah.
I don't know.
If that wasn't your kavanah.
If I have a sregim on a table, is this less a mitzvah esrig than my esrig that I put in my case like this?
For you, you're not kosher. For you, you don't care for it.
If the esrog wasn't
kosher, is this one less roy? Is it less a keli?
But you don't want it. You don't want it.
Doesn't matter what I want or what I don't want.
You say
tikkun man is not about what I want.
You made the decision that that's the way it is, and you don't want to hear anything else. And the other person says,
I don't even ask because that's psikdesha. It's not about machshava. What did I accomplish?
Because you made the decision.
Right.
Not because that's the way it is. Rab Shimon says no.
The oranges because it might be more keli. Someone could use it as a keli, but that's not your intent.
That's exactly that. In any argument, that's the way I feel and the way he feels. If you don't want to give room to the other person the way he feels, then there's no way for argument ever.
We're over time. We'll call it.
Lalach, I need machshavas or not? Lalach, I need machshavas when I
so the heter of darshan miskaven is because of melachas machshavas asatira. If you're not miskaven, it's not melachas machshavas. But if it's a psik reisha, we say, what do you mean melachas machshavas? Obviously, it's going to happen. It's as if it's considered melachas machshavas.
I knock off machshavas.
It becomes the aruch and says the aruch tain is if it's like nichalei.
That's right.
If it's like nichalei, then it's also not considered melachas machshavas, and it's weiter. But halacha we take on even it's not rasim deraisa because it's not melachas machshavas, rasim derabanan.
What's our proof
from this Gemara? From the Hadas. From the Hadasim.
No, he's proving
that the Isai Shayshain Achlisi.
Hadasim, not toothpick. Toothpick, well, I just threw out toothpick.
Don't mix my tongue into what the Gemara says. Hacham Eskin and the Isai Shayshain Achlisi.
But the Hadasim, who said it's Sukkot time?
Here.
I said after Sukkot time to be Bechal, not Sukkot time. Then Pesach time you're doing that.
Yeah, but let's say if you're going to use it by Sukkot.
The Gemara is saying Mesakim Mana be Yontif, so you have to say that.
Otherwise,
if Yontif, it's Yontif, it must be Sukkot.
Otherwise, how you allowed to take grapes from the thing?
So that
no, that you can do.
You have grapes.
No, it's Yontif.
Fine, so that
has to be Sukkot.
It has to be cut off. Can't take straight from the vine.
Fine, so that ends the discussion about brushing here. So let's recap all the klolim we learned in. So halacha is also the brusher here. But we'll recap all the klolim we learned in darshan miskaven. So darshan miskaven we pass like a shimon that is mutter if it's not psik reisha, if it's not for sure going to happen. And what else we saw? The Rivash, the Shail and the Rivash want to bring us an interesting svaras. And maybe who says that maybe if you don't know which hair is going to come up, which hair breaks off, even though for sure a hair is going to break up, but you don't know which hair should it still be considered darshan miskaven, should be mutter. So we say no, it's psik since something is for sure going to break off. Then the second question that came up is, in order to make it not a psik reisha, how often does it need to be happen? Is once in the Avel not enough? If it happens once in the Avel, is that enough? So the Rivash says no, it has to be something more common. Once in the Avel isn't good enough. But we saw still from the Ritva that even though it's a minority chance, even once there's only 30%, it's still enough to make it davar sheni miskaven, not a psik reisha. The third thing we learned is the machlekes to the aruch. The aruch says that psik reishal nichle is going to be mutter. The halacha we passing that it's aser, that it's aser midirabanan.
Oh no, midirabanan.
Midiraisa it's mutter, but midirabanan it's aser. You're not
But ingen of dirabanan am mekel, no? Yesh lahakel b'dirabanan afilu psik reishal.
Oh, we didn't do that yet. That we didn't do it. So we didn't do that yet. So. And so that's so we don't pass like that. So Rabbanan use it as a sniff. You have a few other something we make could be makes with it. So just add one more thing quickly about about brushing shetels. The shetels there's no problem with gazes, but you still psik reishal gabe korea, or either you tear the hair or you undo the knots.
With what?
Even though there's no isser gazes, right? Because it's not attached to the skin. It's not attached to the place where it grew. But still psik reishal you're going to pull out here, and there's a isser of korea or matter. You undo the knots. You think matter kesher.
The hair is tied to the net.
So the place is going to say that brush
I'm doing it. I'm ripping it.
So either you're ripping it, or I don't know. My time is that my wife says that it actually undoes the knot. If you look at the end, you can see where it was tied. I don't know. She tied us the knots get undone.
Yeah, but
You can see if it untied the knot or not.
you can know how it's made.
You can see at the end, I guess, that there used to be a knot there. So the halacha, the Rabbanan say it's they say the placing say it's asur. There's one, the Mincha Shas brings up a svara that there's another machlekes talking about psik reishal by a dirabanan. There's a shit of the Trumas Hadeshin by psik reishal by Issa dirabanan. We're going to be making, even if it's nichel. So
even nichele.
Yeah, even nichele. So if so, he says over here by the shetel, since it's mekalkel, since it's being destructive, it's ruining the shetel. It's only Issa dirabanan, and you're in a miskavin.
Shetel or hair? Shetel.
Now we're talking about sheitel.
Each year $10,000.
So you want to say since it's only the rabbanon.
What do you call it? Looking in the.
1 second, read inside in a second. He wants to argue since you could be make a late the Trumas Hadeshin that by the rabbanon it's only the rabbanon it's only mekalkel, and it's still you're not miskavin. So maybe it could be mekel.
Even by hair.
Not by hair. Well, here's the Raisa.
But yeah, Agamdi, you didn't write that.
Hey, I didn't quote. Okay, the context of it is talking about a shaitel. I didn't quote the lashon. Because by shaitel is the abundant because you're being mekalkel. By your hair is the deraisa of teilish. So there's the Ber Yitzchak. The Ber Yitzchak says you could be mekel by trade rabbanon, but even though it's not ungenommen, the Magen Avron not trade rabbanon by psik reishal by Issa rabbanon, he says he can mekel, but the Pel Alter Rebbe, the Pel were machmir. But I'm not going to run down to that, even if psik reishal by the rabbanon. But he says someone who's mekel, you don't have to be mechel. Read the lashon inside quickly. The Mincha Shabbos is a pirush on the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. He writes, "V'agandi yishleim to not psik reishal v'loy mechel even midi the rabbanon the mekalkel." So if so, you could be mekel and ayin should bear yitzchak sheherich masik shedivrei Trumas Hadeshin brurim that the Trumas Hadeshin who's mekel is that's the ikar lahalacha v'yish lahaka b'derabbanon afil psik reishal the nichalei the kosher again hechel the loy nichalei here adrava he doesn't want it to happen. He doesn't care about it. So he wants to be mekel. So Mincha Shabbos ends off.
Where's Lei Nichalei?
Yeah, you don't want it to fall out.
You do. It's the loose hairs.
No, you don't want.
That's why.
But you'll destroy the sheitel.
But it's already loose. It's already out of place. It's never going to go back.
No, that's not the reason why she's combing it.
Why she cut that? The Gemara gave us the reason why you comb it to get rid of it.
That's a sheitel.
Look, he ends off with Bezecha Yefshel Yashik Sas Minagam Makilin. So this is giving Yasha the minute people are making. Asher in Meiche Biyadam. Why people aren't being Meiche? He says Mikol Makin Kova Nefesh Yachmer Al Asmik Yimcha Beishtesh Leitisik Gemisrei Kasha. That's how.
What about hair? When you come to conclusion?
You're not allowed to brush your hair unless it's a soft brush and your kavanah is not to take out the hair.
And you're sure no hair is going to come out.
Yeah, and you're sure, and now you're sure, but it's not a psik reishal, right? Chances are the majority.
That means you're sure no hair is going to come out.
You're going to brush very light. You're going to brush. It's going to be a soft brush.
Or there's a good chance. There's a large chance that the hair isn't going to come out. It's not a psik reishal. You're not brushing it hard. You're doing it soft.
Okay.
You also soft brush. You're doing it on the top.
They also say you should have a special one, miyuchad one for Shabbos. There shouldn't be a problem. Uvdin the chil. You should have a special brush they use for Shabbos when you brush.
That's already.